Tomorrow night, July 17th of 2024, Stephanie and I and Nate and Sophia are going to see the Foo Fighters at Citi Field, and it's gotta be freaking epic. And it's also New Comic Book Day tomorrow, so that makes it even better. So that means if tomorrow's New Comic Book Day, that means we gotta do the Wednesday pull list. So let's go ahead and dive into today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel. And yes, I did say this already, but guys, welcome to the Wednesday pull list, which is your hype video for all the amazing books coming out on New Comic Book Day, which is most likely going to be for most people tomorrow, which is July 17th of 2024. We got a bunch of really good comics to talk about in today's video. I'm going to go over my top 3 reads, my favorite covers coming out this week, and also I'm just going to cover every single book that's on my pull list, because you guys know I pull a ton of books, and I want to give you all the information that I can, just in case I can entice some of you guys to try some other books that you're not currently picking up. So yes, New Comic Book Day, new covers, new artwork, new stories. Let's not waste any more time and get this video started with checking out my pull list. Now, as you guys can see, we're back to having not a gigantic, we're not in the 30 range, but guys, this is pretty big. But you guys can't see what those books are, so let me go ahead and throw them up on screen right now. Guys, I am pulling a total of 22 stories coming out this week, and of those 22, there are 3 new number 1s. There are 7 DC books, 4 Marvel books, and 11 indie titles. Indie titles have just completely taken over my pull list. They used to be like on par with DC Comics, but now they're just fully taken over. Now, in case you guys did not know, I read the previous issues to all the books that are coming out tomorrow, and I let you guys know what the best stories are that I think you guys should be picking up. That's what makes up the top 3 list. I don't read these books, I read the previous issues. And I did read the previous issue to every single book on screen right now, so every single one of these books could make the top 3 list. Alright guys, let's not waste any more time. There are no books on the chopping block. That means we can move right over to my cover level picks. If you guys have been watching my previews highlights video in my final order cutoff videos, a lot of these will be repeats to covers that I've shown multiple times on the channel. But guys, these are my favorite covers, so I'm going to repeat them one more time. And let's kick this off with probably the best cover coming out this week, which is Superman issue number 16 with the cover T done by Pablos Villalobos. This cover is just, it's everything. It is such a gorgeous cover. But guys, next up is Ultimate X-Men issue number 5 with the variant cover done by Pepe Larraz. This is so good. I wish the artwork on the interior of Ultimate X-Men was Pepe Larraz, because the story would be probably a lot better, because I'm not really loving Ultimate X-Men right now, but hopefully it's going to get better. But guys, next up is The Incredible Hulk, issue number 14 with the variant cover done by Gabriel Del Otto. Gabriel Del Otto's artwork for the Hulk is freaking awesome. The intensity in that pose and the scream on his face is so good. Alright guys, the next 4 covers are all covers I've shown before on those other videos. The first one up is Catwoman issue number 67 with the cover C done by Pablos Villalobos. It's got Catwoman in France in the Eiffel Tower. It's just gorgeous. Next up is Catwoman 67, the 1:50 ratio variant done by Tirso Cons. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Whenever we can get our superheroes or villains or, you know, anti-heroes or anything, just doing something normal, like eating some food, I think that just makes the cover, and this one right here is fantastic. Now guys, next up is Scarlet Witch issue number 2 with probably one of my favorite artists with Dyke Ruan. This is the 1:25 ratio variant. It's so good. It's so good. Hopefully my comic shop has this for around 10 bucks, because if it does, totally buying it. Totally buying it. Alright guys, in the final cover is Namor with the variant cover in the 1:100 ratio variant done by Alex Maleev, and that 1:100 is a virgin. This is just a great cover. It's so freaking cool. I don't know if it's like all the blue, it's like open, and you got Namor just by himself swimming down. There's something about it that it just makes this cover super duper cool, and I don't think the trade dress really distracts it all that much for it. I'm picking up only the trade dress, but guys, if you're going to score yourself the 1:100, let me know down in the comments comments below. Alright guys, that is it for my cover lover picks this week. Let's go ahead and check out that new #1 that I think you guys have to be excited about. Quick break in the video, guys. Before we check out that new #1, I just gotta ask you guys, do me a favor and smash that like button. It helps out the channel so much when I get a bunch of likes on the video, and I'm just asking you guys real quick, just do it. Smash, smash, and then we can check out that new #1. There are 3 new #1s on my pull list this week. 2 I'm pretty excited for, but 1 I am super excited for. I cannot wait to get my hands on that one. And that's the book that we're going to read the synopsis for. But I do want to cover the other 2 books really quickly. And the first one up is Namor issue #1. Now I'm excited about this because it's Namor. I would really like a really interesting story for Namor. Now this is going to come from the writer of Jason Aaron, and I've seen some people really mad that Jason Aaron is taking on this character, especially after what he did to Punisher in that last series for the Punisher. Now, I'm not upset by that at all. I didn't mind the Punisher run all that much, but I'm not a huge Punisher fan. And I'm also not a huge Namor fan. I'm just looking for a cool story with a cool character, which is this right here. So hopefully Jason Aaron can bring that to us. Now, the other one is just filled with 90s nostalgia with Witchblade issue #1. Now, I don't remember who the artist is on this. I remember seeing it and going, I don't know who they are. So I'm going to go in this with open hearts and open minds and just hope that this story is going to be super duper cool, and I hope that the character of the Darkness can also come back, because we've got Witchblade, we need the Darkness. Bring those 2 characters back together again. I think that would be freaking epic. But guys, the #1 that I'm really excited for is Dark Knights of Steel All Winter issue #1. Now the story is coming from Tom Taylor, but the writer of this book is Jay Kristoff, and we have art by Tirso Cons, which is really cool because Tirso Cons has been putting out some banger covers lately, and a lot of his covers have made the channel in cover lover picks and final order cutoff. So I think him doing the interiors of this book is just like a home run. I don't remember what Jay Kristoff has done before, but the overall story is coming from Tom Taylor, and if you did not read Dark Knights of Steel before, the volume #1, go read it. It's a fantastic story, all about the DC universe, but set back in the medieval times. It was freaking epic. It was so good. But let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. The Elseworlds relaunch continues with a bone-chilling Dark Knights of Steel chapter starring Deathstroke. I mean, come on. Deathstroke back in the medieval times? Freaking awesome. The snow falls thick. Blood runs black. The color itself is only a distant memory. The legendary assassin Deathstroke stalks the frozen wasteland, killing for a coin among a nation of ever-warring Jarls. But when our murderer for hire finds himself cast in the role of the reluctant guardian, will he fight to end the icy curse destroying his land, or be consumed by the sins of his own dark past? The red-hot Dark Knights of Steel epic expands into bone-chilling new territories with new surprises in store. So good. So good. Now, I cannot suggest enough. If you do not read Volume 1, go read Volume 1 before you dive into this. Dark Knights of Steel was just this, like, epic tale set back in medieval times with twists and turns on all of our characters that we know and love, just set back in medieval times. Like the twist on Bruce Wayne was so good. So good. Yeah. That's all I'm going to tease you with. Go check it out because it was amazing. It was awesome. Tom Taylor did some amazing writing. Yasmin Pucci did the artwork for the book. It was gorgeous, fun, amazing. Read that book, and I'm really, really pumped to check this out as well, especially since Tirso Cons is doing the art and Tom Taylor is doing the overall story. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'm excited. Now, there are some pretty cool variant covers. The cover B is probably the best. The cover C has some, like, I don't know, frozen princess on the cover. Cover C or D looks like we got a version of Black Manta on there, which is pretty cool. The 1 in 25 is okay, and the 1 in 50, which is a version of the cover A by Tirso Cons, is fine, I guess. But guys, read this book. It's going to be a ton of fun. All right, guys, that is the new #1. Let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which are my top 3 books that I think you guys have to be picking up this week because I think the stories are going to be the best. The number 3 book that I'm most excited to pick up this week is The Weatherman issue #7. This is the final issue of The Weatherman. The final issue. We have had Volume 1, which is a great 6-issue miniseries. We've had Volume 2, which is an even better 6-issue miniseries. And now we got a 7-issue series ending with issue #7, and it's the final issue. he's going to wrap up the whole story somehow. And I'm talking about the writer of Jody LaHoppe, and this book is drawn by Nathan Fox, and I don't know how he's going to do it. I really don't. This story has been so good and so action-packed. It's been moving so quickly and hasn't had a chance to slow down. So how is he going to wrap up the story? I have no idea, especially with the cliffhanger of issue number 6. That was so good. Issue number 6 and 7 were just like full-on action, all page, from the first page all the way to the end. At the end of issue number 6, which I read yesterday, it was the final book that I read because I wanted to save, which I thought was going to be the best story for last. It was like just this twist, and you're like, wait, what? No! But it made sense, but it was still so good. Now, the reason why I think you guys should read this story and like try to collect, 3 volumes, or pick up volume 1 and 2 in trade and wait until volume 3 comes out in trade, or maybe, just maybe, Image Comics will put this out in like an omnibus or a large format trade or something. It would be amazing. It'd be so good. Then I could display it on a shelf somewhere and show it off to everyone, because you can't display 3 volumes of a book in single issues. They're in a box somewhere. You can't really coolly display that. Omnibus you can though. That'd be pretty freaking cool. But the writer of Jody LaHoppe has done a fantastic job of really, really getting you to care about all the characters in this book, especially the 2 main characters. And I honestly, I've read so many books, I cannot remember their names off the top of my head. I want to say it's Nathan, the Weatherman, but I'm probably totally butchering that. And then there's the girl that fell in love with him, and I can't remember her name as well. I read too many books. Remembering names is like almost impossible. But guys, the story was heartfelt, it was engaging, action-packed, sci-fi insanity. The villain was great. You hated him from day one, and he made you hate him more and more and more every time you saw him. And it's just, it was so good. It was so good. Now, the art by Nathan Fox is also a selling point in this book. It was beautiful. Beautiful. The action, the way he draws action was amazing. His character designs were amazing. Everything. Everything about this book was absolutely fantastic. This is a must read in my opinion. And I'm sorry to anyone who's going to take my advice, go pick up the trades or go try to find the single issues. I think you can get most of them on mycomicshop.com. They have variants of a bunch of them that you can pick up. You can probably pick up almost all of them on mycomicshop.com. But read it. It's worth your time. It's worth your energy. It's worth your investment in this book. It's a ton of fun. So much fun. But guys, that is the number 3 book. Let's go ahead and find out what the number 2 is. All right, guys, the number 2 book this week is the 4th issue of a new series. I did not love issue number 1. Now, issue number 2 got a little better. Issue number 3 was so much fun and got me really excited for issue number 4. Now, I'm talking about the book Redcoat, issue number 4. Now, this is coming from the writer of Geoff Johns and art by Brian Hitch. Now, if you're not reading this story, you really should. It follows a person who is an immortal. His name is Simon Pure, and he is not pure at all, but he cannot die. You can shoot him in the head, he'll come back to life. You can poison him, you can drown him, you can break his neck, you can do whatever you want. He comes back to life until he gets injured by this mystical axe that was owned by, I think, by George Washington or something. It was like some major character back in American history that over time got bewitched and like filled with like all this like magical power, and it's able to, I guess, like poison or kill or like injure immortals to the point where they'll die. It's such a cool story, but there is another immortal who has been collecting magical artifacts, which are all part of like American history, and it was really cool. There was a bag of apple seeds from Johnny Appleseeds, and what he did, Geoff Johns, the writer of this book, did to make those apple seeds magical was so freaking cool. We also get a young Einstein, like the person of Einstein in this book. He's only, I think, like 13 or something. He's like a small kid. And yeah, he's actually 13 years old. Exactly. It's in the synopsis for this book. And he's running alongside Simon Pure, trying to help him. It's just so much fun taking history. When you can take history and make it really fun, it's awesome. I love that stuff. When you can just like put magic, I guess, magic into the history and just make fun things of it. It's just, I don't know. I'm loving this book now. Issue number 3 really sold it. I cannot wait to see where this story is going to go. If you guys have not read it yet, I would go pick up the first 3 issues, read it. I'm sure they're on shelves everywhere. This is written by Geoff Johns. So pick up the series, read it, have fun, enjoy history in a fun way. And yeah, that's it for the number 2. Let's go ahead and find out what the number 1 book that I think you guys have to be reading this week is, because it was freaking awesome. Alright guys, in the number 1 spot was a little bit of a surprise to me, but this story has been really good since the first issue. Guys, I'm talking about Wonder Woman issue number 11. Now this is coming from the writer of Tom King, and we're going to have a new artist on the book, because normally it's Daniel Samprier, but in issue number 11 it's going to be Tony S. Daniel. Now this is a Absolute Power tie-in, so I'm a little curious if this is going to step away from the current story and then let this whole Absolute Power like bull-ticky take place, and then we're going to come back to the ongoing story right now, which I'm really hoping it's going to do, because the current story is so amazing, and I don't want a tie-in or a big crossover event, I should say, ruin what's going on in this book, because it's freaking awesome. We have this main villain who's been trying to tear down Wonder Woman since issue number 1, and he's failed and failed again and failed again, and this whole story has allowed Tom King to build up Wonder Woman, to show us, the reader, why she is such a person, a superhero, just a character to care about, and how badass she is, and how she should not be reckoned with, because she is a ball of fury and awesome. She's just an awesome character. I guess I'm losing adjectives. I need more adjectives in my brain to help describe her, because it's been such a fun story. And this character, this villain, has like really thrown everything at her. The U.S. Army, he's thrown super villains, he's thrown like the his lasso of lies, trying to force lies into her to make her break down. She didn't break out, put her in solitude, thrown her on an island with a manic cheetah, and yeah, Wonder Woman was able to, like, you know, calm her down, and like they were just had this great moment on the island, and now they're gonna fight together to do some amazing things. And all along, there's been this other story with the 3 Wonder Girls. You got Donna Troy, you got Cassie Sanmarks, and Yara Flor, all trying to find Wonder Woman. And it's like this little comedic element to the story that makes it so enjoyable, because they're trying to find, in this last issue, the invisible jet. And they kept on like looking on this airfield, and then they bump into it, and then they try to find the controls, but it's an invisible jet. They can't see the controls, so they don't know what they're doing. It was really funny. It was such an enjoyable issue, and the art by Daniel Samprier is freaking amazing. And it's just, again, Tom King doing a fantastic job. It's a wordy book. It does. It takes a little bit to read, but it's worth it, because the way he's telling this story is amazing. It is so, so good. I hope I am doing a good job describing this, because I've never enjoyed a Wonder Woman book before. I've picked them up like 3 or 4 times, giving them 4 or 5 issues, maybe 6 issues, like 2 story arcs to really sell me, and I've never bought in. But I'm fully bought into this character right now, and this story by Tom King. I think it's fantastic. I don't know if it's going to end at issue number 12 or 13, or how long he's going to be on this book, but I hope it's on for a long time, because I want to see where this story is going to go and what he could do after that, because he's building her up. And hopefully he can keep doing that, because we don't want to tear this character back down, because I think that'd be silly. You do that with Batman. You build him up, you tear him down. You build him up, you tear him down. Let's not do that with Wonder Woman. I think that'd be silly. But guys, that is the number 1 book. Now, we do got to talk about the variant covers. There is one by Tedesco, which I honestly don't love that one. There is another cover by Tony S. Daniel, which is fine. There is a really cool, this is the one version of this cover that I like. This is done by Jesus Luis Garcia Lopez. It is the artist Spotlight, and he's done one of these, I think, for a ton of these books, where you got like this like almost like 80s or 90s version of the character, and this one is actually pretty good. And then we do have a 1 in 25 by Jeff Spokes. He did the last one, which I absolutely loved. I did end up picking that up for myself, but this one right here, which is like an old-timey version, I don't really like this cover all that much. Guys, let me know what you think about these covers down in the comments below, and also with Wonder Woman being in the number 1 spot. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Guys, let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, that is the top 3 books. We got to cover the not top 3, but the books you got to see, which are the rest of the books that I'm picking up this week. All right, guys, the not top 3, but the books you got to see is the rest of my books. The rest of the books on my pull list, and I give you a little bit of information on if the story is good, great, not so great, but I just want to give you guys a little bit of information on all these books, just in case you're like on the fence on maybe picking this book up, maybe not picking this book up, and I can just sway you, because a lot of these stories are absolutely fantastic. All right, guys, first up is Batman, Superman, World's Finest, issue number 29. This is written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora. Pick it up for just the art. The art is so incredible. Dan Mora is such a great artist. But this story by Mark Waid is okay. This is the final issue dealing with Mixoplex and all of the Might stuff. I haven't loved it. It's been kind of fun, but I'm kind of over it. I wanted like 2 or 3 issues, but I think we're going on the 4th issue right now. Let's wrap up the story and move on. After that is Briar, issue number 7. Issue number 6 was good. I think this is the second issue since the book has come back, and I'm excited to see where the story is going to go. But we are at a point in the story where they're kind of like tearing all the characters down. I'm sure they're going to come back together. We're going to lift them up and we're going to move forward with the story. But this is like kind of like the low point for all the characters. Next up, Destro, issue number 2. I really liked issue number 1, and the art by Andrea Brenson, I want to say his name is fantastic. He's a great artist. I really like him on this book, and I'm excited to see where this book is going to go, because I like how they're kind of pitting Destro and Cobra Command against each other. Really cool. And I'm also not a gigantic G.I. Joe fan, so getting this information for the first time is fantastic. Next up, Fish Flies, issue number 7. Issue number 6 was great. It was so good. This is written and drawn by Jeff Lemire, and we got the whole backstory of why this Fish Flies thing is happening. It was really good. I really liked issue number 6. Green Lantern, War Journal, issue number 11 is the next book I'm picking up next week. Issue number 10 was good. I didn't love it, didn't hate it, but we did get a great moment with Guy Gardner at the end, and I'm excited to see where he's going to fit into this story. All right, guys, next up is The Incredible Hulk, issue number 14. This is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Nick Klein. The art is fantastic. The story by Philip Kennedy Johnson has its high points, but also has some really low points. I'm not loving this, and I'm kind of excited to get out of this current story arc. But what I do like about it is this character of Charlie, who is this little girl who we met, I believe, in the 1st or 2nd issue of PKJ's run. And she's been the best part of this book so far, and she hasn't been able to be in it in the last like 2 or 3 issues because she's trapped inside this doll, and we really need to get this character back. I think she is what makes this story right now, for me at least. After that is Man's Best, issue number 5. I believe this might be the final issue of this story. I kind of hope it is, because I'm not loving this. I don't like the artwork, and the story is only so-so in my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys think about this book if you're reading it down in the comments below. Explain to me why you like it. Maybe that will make me like the story a little bit more, but right now it's just kind of meh. Next up is Misery, issue number 2. This is another story that was just meh. Now, I picked this up because I'm picking up all the Spawn books, and I figured, you know what, why not pick up these little miniseries as well? Because this is going to be a 4-issue miniseries, and they're only $2.99. All the Spawn books are only $2.99, and then you order them on previews, they're only like $1 or something. Why pass this up? And maybe the story is great, but right now, the first issue was only okay. Kind of rushed the setup a little bit, in my opinion. I think they could have taken their time a little bit more. The artwork was by Simon Kardinsky, which was great, but the story was a little weak. After that is Napalm Lullaby, issue number 5. Now, this is coming from Rick Remender, art by Bengal. Great story. It's a little out there. It's a little hard to follow, but issue number 4 was a ton of fun. There's a little bit of nudity in issue number 4, which I was not expecting at all, but story was cool. But it's just a lot to follow, in my opinion. But it's still really good, and the art by Bengal is fantastic. Next up, Nightwing, issue number 116. I didn't like the ending of issue number 115. Wasn't terrible, but I didn't like how easily Heartless was able to trick Nightwing. He's Dick Grayson, one of the best detectives, one of the best fighters, one of the best. And this character of Heartless just like completely fooled him like really easily. Was not cool, but the overall story with Heartless has been really freaking good. And now we are building up to the final arc of Tom Taylor in Bruno Redondo's run. So the artwork was great. The story was just, I didn't love it. Next up, Rat City, issue number 4. I definitely did not read issue number 2, and when I read issue number 3, I was a little lost. And again, this story is okay. Not the best. When you read the other Spawn books, they're really good. I'm talking about Scorch, Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn, and Spawn. All those stories have been really good. This Rat City is out on its own little island, and I'm not loving it, but I'm not giving up just yet. After that, we have The Spectacular Spider-Men, issue number 5. Has art by Humberto Ramos, which is fantastic. Art on the inside is so good. But the story has been a little hard to follow because they're not giving you all the information. They kind of trick you into thinking a certain way and then revealing that you're wrong, which is great. I don't mind that, but it's made it a little hard to follow at times. But at the end of issue number 4, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. All right, guys, next up, Superman, issue number 16. This is the start of a new arc. This is going to be an Absolute Power tie-in. Now, I haven't read issue number 1 to Absolute Power. It's in my box over there. I believe I have to read it this week. But the ending to the Brainiac stuff was a little weak, guys. I was loving that Brainiac storyline. It was in Action Comics, in Superman. It was a lot of fun. But the good thing is that Joshua Williamson is staying on this book, at least as far as I can tell. He's on issue number 16. But we do have a new writer on Action Comics, which has me less excited. But guys, Superman has been really good under Joshua Williamson, so hopefully he sticks on this a little bit longer. All right, guys, next up is Thundercats, issue number 6. Issue number 5 was good. Good. Like, hands down, probably the best issue. The art seemed a lot better, so I think they might have put a new artist on the book. But it just featured Chitara and Lion-O, and Chitara was beating the crap out of Lion-O, trying to teach him a lesson. Really good. I really enjoyed issue number 5, and I'm excited to see what issue number 6. You cannot hate these David Nakayama cover A's. They're so good. All right, guys, next up is Titans, issue number 13. Issue number 12 was probably one of the best issues of Titans I read yet in a while, because I've read 11 issues before that, and issue number 12 was probably the best, but it still wasn't good. I really need to chop this book, but I just want to see where this story is going to end, and maybe either the series will end with Tom Taylor, or maybe they'll put a new writer on it, but I've gone this far. I'm going to go a little bit further, get to the end of the next story arc, and then see if they're going to put a new creative team. I think if they don't put a new creative team on at the end of this book, I'm done. I'm done. After that, Ultimate X-Men, issue number 5. I think I'm getting to the end of this book too. So these are 2 books I think I'm going to chop from my list very soon. Ultimate X-Men has just been okay. I don't love the artwork by Pete Trumocco. I think the story is really kind of loose. It's not like a super engaging storyline. It kind of jumps around in my opinion. It's just not solid. And I want a solid X-Men story. Like the Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man is so good. Ultimate Black Panther. It's easy to follow. This one is not easy to follow for me. And guys, that's it. That was the last book on the not top 3, but the books you gotta see. I don't like ending it on the not super positive note, but overall, that was a great week in comics, guys. And that's gonna do it for today's video, so let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, guys, we are at the end of today's video. Foo Fighters tomorrow, guys. If you have never seen them in concert and they come to a town near you, I would highly suggest, try to go see that show. I've seen them twice before, maybe 3 times, and every single show is freaking amazing. Like, really, really good. They put on one of the best shows I've ever seen. I've seen hundreds of concerts before. I used to go to concerts all the time, and when I was in my teens and my 20s and my 30s, I slowed down because my kids, I need all my attention all the time, but that's okay. They deserve every single bit of my attention. But we're going to go see the Foo Fighters. My kids are getting a little bit older. I cannot wait to take a little Jack to his first concert. But Foo Fighters is just amazing. See them if they're coming to a town near you. But guys, that is the end of today's video. If you are still watching this video right now, I'm just gonna tell you, you guys are legends. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, that you can be even a bigger legend. If you guys haven't smashed that like button just yet, do me a favor, become a legend, smash that like button. And last but not least, guys, if you guys watched that video and you guys enjoyed comic book content, but you're not subscribed, do me a favor. Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. All right, guys, this week, I have Foo Fighters tomorrow, but I'm going to try to record and edit my previews highlights video tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I'm going to do my research for Final Order Cutoff. I'm going to shoot it at the end of the day, and then I'll edit it on Friday. So you guys will have 2 more videos this week. So strap in. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.